Gentlemen, welcome back to Mids from the middle of the Midwest. Today, Spectrum game. You guys know what the spectrum is. The tism. There's something unique in the personality of men who are on the spectrum that lends itself to identification game. That seems strange because men who are autistic would naturally struggle to be social in a way in which you become friends with a woman and find yourself stuck in the friend zone as opposed to, say, the fuck zone. But truth is, men who are on the spectrum tend to rely more on identification game than they would on regular game. As we've said, standard sex game, standard ordinary, I'm trying to have sexual access with a woman is as simple as be attractive, don't be unattractive, escalate. When you can't do that, you identify. And when you are on the spectrum, even the way in which you identify becomes very fraught with abstractions. The things that you need to do to be attractive and not be unattractive are practically like kryptonite for a man on the spectrum. This is because in order to have standard, ordinary, analog game and interact with women such that they want to fuck you just because they have access to your personality is so uniquely counter to how men on the spectrum view the world. Men on the spectrum are really good with analytical issues, critical thinking, problem solving, maybe even tool use, weapon use for sure, in dealing with abstract concepts. Even if a guy who's on the spectrum becomes a genius at game, reads everything that you could possibly read by every single red pill author and becomes a savant at understanding intersexual dynamics, that guy still has to go talk to a woman or talk to a man, just talk to another human being to make something work. And when he can't do that, he has to fall back on identification game. And for most men on the spectrum, when they do that, it looks very different from the ordinary friend zone, but it's all they have. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and final thought. When normal, ordinary sex game doesn't work, and when identification game doesn't work, the next step is identification game by proxy. This is all of the identification that men are doing. Some men are engaging in politically, socially, culturally, letting the women around them know through the internet that they agree with them, that they find common ground on all of these political issues that really excite women. This is a horrible mistake by these men because they're operating behind the barrier of the internet, and they also completely misunderstand female motivations when it comes to attention, validation, and sexuality. So when ordinary game doesn't work, when identification game doesn't work, and when identification by proxy doesn't work, you are left with violence. This is the male sex drive. It will hunt and hunt and hunt, and when it runs out of tools, it will attack. So you're seeing it in the streets, you're seeing it online, you're seeing it everywhere. Men running out of options to figure out how to solve their reproductive problem. Take care.